movement prep for the next program. Some basic stuff. I do want to reiterate how important it is that if we do come in early, which would be good of us to do, right? That we get more movement prep, because the more warm up we are, the better our workouts, the less chance of injury, and the better our mobility will become, the more time we have to practice our skills. There's a lot of benefit to get moving and to be practicing things. So practicing our lagging lifts, grabbing some easy or some whatever your repetitions of pull-up progressions or press or your core activation exercises or whatever, or any kind of mobility you've seen in any other warm-up ever, you're more than welcome to come in and start using that. So if there's a banded thing that you really love or some mobility thing you love, when you come in and you've got time, just get right to it. Something else that I would suggest is just to get more heat in the body, especially being winter. So when you come in and you get your stuff ready and you've got time, grab a bike, just start pedaling, right? And then I just want you to try to get to 20 calories. There's no intention of intensity. It's just getting there to get that number to 20. You can go as slow or as fast as you want, or you can just hang out and get there, okay? So the bike is nice extra credit warm up to get our body warmed up, literally warmed up, being that it's cold. So it's a nice addition to grab a bike when you come in, right? Then when group starts, we're going to go through a few different movement patterns, practices to get our body primed and ready to go. One of them is going to be a single leg balance weight transfer. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the single leg deadlift, kind of like I should feel a hamstring stretch, and I'm using all of my foot on the ground, right? I could definitely 1,000% be barefoot or at least in a flat shoe. And I'm going to take something that's at minimum 10 pounds. Minimum 10 pounds. So that is 10-pound dumbbell, 10-pound plate, 15-pound dumbbell. That is any of the kettlebells, basically, right? Do not want any 5 or 2.5s. I'm going to get that stretch. My chest is going to be in line with the ground, right? It's not up here. So I'm really stretched back. My back foot is back behind me, and I'm trying to make as big of a motion as possible. And what I'm doing is I'm getting all of my balance brain muscles going, as well as my foot, ankle, knee, hip going, right? So kind of this airplane motion until the instructor says switch, and then I'll switch to the other side, right? Hamstring stretch, big chest, eyes are up. I'm not looking at the thing. I'm just moving across, okay? Until the instructor says stop. So that's going to be the first thing we do. That's going to get things moving. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a PP9K. And we're going to do a half kneeling windmill with reach. This is going to be really important as we continue to practice that half kneeling windmill, which is just a phenomenal exercise for our posture and our hips. What a common fault in the windmill is that we're in the half kneeling, we open, and we get so focused on the ground, we get so focused on the external goal that we bend our spine, right? Or we twist in, and we're not actually getting the goal of the exercise. The goal of the exercise is that my spine is moving into my hips, and my upper back, my upper back here is opening and closing, not my lower back, right? So I want to give that lower back stability. So I'm going to take the PP9K, right? If my left knee is up, my right hand is on the PP9K. I have 3 points of contact: my glutes, my shoulder blades, and my head. I open, I hinge to wherever I can. If I hinge so big that I lose contact here, or I lose contact here, or here, then I'm not doing the point of the exercise. So 3 points of contact, nice straight. This is going to feel smaller than normal, but you should feel the outside of your hip. Now I'm going to take this hand, and I'm going to reach back, T-spine, and then come back forward. Open hip, hinge in the hip, reach back, and then come back forward, right? You're going to do that per side until the instructor says switch, and then I'll go to the other side. Okay? So I open, and then I reach back. Good. 3 points of contact. That's the important part. Side bending and touching the ground isn't the goal. The goal isn't at the end of the day to say, oh man, I'm much better at touching the ground. The goal is, man, I feel much better with my mobility and my stiffness and my posture. Okay, so that's a half kneeling windmill. We're going to do, you're going to have a kettlebell for swing / pull through, plank pull through. So we're going to get a little more abs going. And you're basically just going to take your tall plank. You're going to put that belt outside and under, and I'm just going to pull through. And the idea is I'm not letting my hip fall and twist. Okay? So my hips are staying nice and even. If an instructor sees your hips moving a lot, they may put a yoga block on your hips, on your belt line, to give you some feedback, because we want to make the core tight to make the movement through the core, not just grossly moving through space. Good. And then after we've done our plank pull through, we're going to get some hips going for our swings. 2 variations of this, depending on the session, the room, the pairing. You're going to be in a probably blue or red band, maybe a green band, depending on the pair or the person. I'm going to be inside of the band. I'm going to put the band across my hips. I'm going to step out so far that the band is trying to push me back. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to lock my knees, lock my glutes, and I'm leaning forward over my ankles. I'm just hanging out. Glutes are on as hard as possible, and I'm really feeling this locked out, locked knee, locked glute position. And the instructor will have you hang out there for probably 60, 90 seconds until you really feel that those glutes. Because if I relax my glutes, see how the band beats my hips? The whole point is this is an overcoming isometric into load. And you may, as you go through time, may realize that for 60 seconds you need a green band, or you need more than one blue band, or you might need to go down a band. That's okay. The goal is hip extension. If there's a bunch of people in the room and we're going to partner up, we're basically just going to take one blue band. Me and my partner are going to get inside that band, and we're going to face away from each other, and we're just going to hold, and we're just pushing against ourselves. So either way, that'll be good there. Okay, it'll be awkward, and you have to do this funky thing with the band, but that's okay. And the last thing, skill set, heart rate. We're going to do a hand-to-hand switch. This is going to be probably a light to medium bell, and we're going to high hike, and then switch hands at the top, and then high hike, switch hands at the top. A common over-exaggeration of the movement is to reach forward, but that's not the goal of the exercise. The goal is to bring the belt up close towards us, and I'm going to catch it in front of me. So high hike 1, 2, 3. See how high the bell stays in between my legs, right? And I'm not getting out and then falling and then catching and falling. The bell is high in between my legs. It gets to my chest and back over. See how it's not very big either. Small motion. I'm not trying to go down as far as possible. I'm not trying to go back as far as possible. I'm just high, switch, high, switch. Okay? And I'm switching at the top. And that'll be our skill practice. You can go light as possible and build up to heavy as the weeks go on, so you really get to say heart rate, right? And that was like 8 reps or whatever it was. You'll do that until the instructor says stop. And that will be the movement prep for the program.